Stay tuned now and test your recall along with high school students on the interscholastic quiz program, Answers Please. Stay tuned now and test your recall along with high school students on the interscholastic quiz program. Stay tuned now and test your recall along with high school students on the interscholastic quiz program, Answers Please. Today's championship contest brings together Kingston and Wahconah.
Welcome to Answers Please. This is the championship round. Tonight we have the best of the best. The teams here tonight have been retired undefeated, and they also were successful in the early matches to gain the seat here tonight. So that means that tonight we will crown a championship or a champion for the 1989 season. Let's find out who we have here today. Let's start with the team captain from Kingston.
Ted Scherzinger, Jr., captain.
Rich Hendricks, Jr.
Becky Osborne, Senior.
Leah Cole, freshman.
Alrighty, thank you, and welcome to you folks. And let's do the same for Wahconah, and we'll start with the team captain over on this side.
Michael Donahue, Jr., captain.
Megan Johnson, Jr.
Jason Liss, sophomore.
Karen Bridges, senior.
Alrighty, big welcome to you too. And you've all heard it a number of times, but just so everything is straight, let's hear the rules of the game one more time.
There are two types of questions: buzzer questions worth 5 points each, and four-part team questions worth a possible 20 points total. In the second half of play, all point values are doubled. Each round of the game proceeds as follows. Buzzer questions are offered to both teams. The first team to correctly answer 3 buzzer questions earns the right to a 4-part team question. Now, Answers Please.
Bell indicates round 1 of Answers Please. Correct responses worth 5 points apiece. And here we go. Math question right off the bat, your favorite. What is the median of the following 5 numbers? And here they are: 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0. And we go to Michael Donahue from Wahconah.
4.
4 is correct. First 5 points on the board. What was the nickname of the American gangster Charles Arthur Floyd, who was shot to death by FBI agents near Liverpool, Oklahoma? And we go to Rich Hendricks from Kingston.
Pretty Boy.
Pretty Boy Floyd is correct. Although they're better known for their accomplishments in other fields, all of the following famous people once earned their living in a single profession. What profession did Clara Barton, Art Garfunkel, Pat Nixon, and Benito Mussolini have in common? And we'll go to Becky Osborne from Kingston.
All were teachers.
Correct. All were school teachers. Very good. What famous woman died at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight on January 22nd, 1901 at the age of... Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Queen Victoria.
That's correct. Queen Victoria of Great Britain. All righty, that's 3 buzzer questions. We go to a team question now for Kingston. I will read each of you a description of a person whose last name begins with the 2 letters B-R and ask you to give me that last name. First, for Ted Scherzinger, the husband of American poetess Elizabeth Barrett.
Robert Browning.
That's correct. For Rich Hendricks, the mountain man, fur trader, guide, and spinner of tall tales who is alleged to be the first white man to see the Great Salt Lake in Utah in 1825.
Pass.
Okay. And finally, to Becky Osborne, one of 3 talented sisters, she wrote Wuthering Heights.
Bronte.
Correct. And now finally to Leah Cole, the author and editor whose works include the 1962 bestseller Sex and the Single Girl.
Pass.
Okay, Helen Gurley Brown we were looking for there, and Jim Bridger for the mountain man, Robert Browning for the very first one. We continue now with another buzzer question. What is the name of the 4-sided solid figure, each face of which is a... We go to Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
A tetrahedron.
Tetrahedron is correct. Also known as a triangular pyramid. Who is the ancient author who is credited with both of the following quotes? It is not only fine feathers that make fine birds, and proximity breeds contempt. And we go to Becky Osborne, Kingston.
Aesop.
Aesop, correct. Very good. Those 3 lines. Those lines are from Aesop. Name both the winner and the second place finishing horse in the 1989 Preakness. And we go to Jason Liss from Wahconah. Last correct
Sunday
answer.
Silence and Easy Goer.
Easy Goer, correct, in that order. Hydrogen and helium are the first two chemical elements listed in order of atomic weight. Name either of the first two elements in alphabetical listing. And we go to Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Argon.
No, that's not correct. Wahconah. Michael Donahue. Aluminum is one, right. The other one, actinium. But you did get the one, and we give you 5 points for that. Name the nation which is bordered on the north by Norway, on the east by the USSR, and on the west by Ted Scherzinger, Kingston.
Finland.
Finland, correct. On the west by Sweden. That's 3 correct again. We go to a team question for Kingston. I will give you the year and the country in which each of the following 4 inventions or discoveries took place. For 5 points, tell me who was the inventor or discoverer. And for Captain Ted Scherzinger, the mechanical reaper, United States, 1834.
Eli Whitney.
No, incorrect. Rich Hendricks. Analytical geometry, France, 1619.
L'Hopital.
Incorrect. Becky Osborne, the mercury thermometer, Germany, 1714.
Pass.
Okay, finally to Leah Cole, the electrostatic generator, U.S., 1929.
Pass.
Okay, the answer's in order. McCormick for the Reaper, analytical geometry, Descartes, and Germany, the thermometer was Fahrenheit, and the electrostatic generator, Van de Graaff. Van de Graaff. We go on now with another buzzer question, no points scored there. Name 2 of the plays of William Shakespeare which contain in their title the name of an Italian city. Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
2 Gentlemen of Verona and The Merchants of Venice.
Very good. The other one, Othello, the Moor of Venice. Very good, for another 5 points. What is the first person singular form, active voice, of the present perfect tense of the verb to take? Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Take.
No, incorrect. We'll ask for a response from Wahconah. Michael Donahue, Wahconah.
Taken.
Is that going to be all right? No, we were looking for I have taken. Need to be a little more exact there. No points scored there. In the MKS system, the unit of magnetic flux is the Weber. What is the unit in the same system of magnetic flux? Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Tesla.
Tesla, correct. Very good. Flux density. What single word has often been used in referring to the American politician William Marcy Tweed and Ted Scherzinger from Kingston?
Boss.
Boss, correct. Bruce Springsteen. Team question time for Kingston. Here we go. I will ask each of you to give me the name of a famous real or fictional ocean-going vessel. What is the name of the whaling ship in which Captain Ahab chased the white whale in Herman Melville's Moby Dick? For Ted Scherzinger.
The Pequod.
Correct. Rich Hendricks. What is the name given by Norwegian explorer and anthropologist Thor Heyerdahl to the primitive raft in which he and 5 companions sailed from Peru to Polynesia in 1947?
Kon-Tiki.
That is correct. To Becky Osborne. What is the only ship to be officially honored as a U.S. national memorial?
The Arizona.
That's correct. Battleship Arizona. Leah Cole. What was the name of the ship in which, according to Greek mythology, Jason searched for the Golden Fleece?
Pass.
That answer is the Argo. 15 points, though, scored. Very good team question round. Another buzzer question open for everybody. What is the name of the group of Pacific Islands which was 1, first seen by Americans in 1859, 2, annexed to the U.S. in 1860? And we go to Becky Osborne, Kingston.
Hawaii.
Incorrect. I'll continue for Wahconah. The site of the first major U.S. victory over Japan in June of 1942. Jason Liss.
Midway.
Midway, correct. George Washington University in Washington, D.C. The University of Washington is in Seattle. Let me try that again. George Washington University is in Washington, D.C. The University of Washington is in Seattle, Washington. In which U.S. city will you find Washington University? And we go to Jason Liss, Wahconah.
St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri, correct. What is the largest body of liquid water on the surface of the earth which is not known as either an ocean or a sea? Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
The Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico is correct. Hudson Bay is number 2. Here we go. Klaus DiBiase of Italy won gold medals in the same event in 3 consecutive... Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Diving.
Okay, you jumped in a little too soon. Wahconah will continue. Won gold medals in the same event in 3 consecutive Olympic Games. Who won the gold medal in that same event in the last 2 Olympic Games? Jason Liss.
Greg Louganis.
Greg Louganis of the U.S. Platform diving. Team question now for Wahconah. I will describe for each of you a pair of numbers and ask you to give me the sum of those 2 numbers. Math time for Michael Donahue. The square of -9 and the negative square root of 9.
$78.
78, correct. For Megan Johnson, the number of sides of an octagon and the number of diagonals of a pentagon.
13.
13 is correct. Jason Liss, the number of degrees in the measure of each angle of an equilateral triangle and the number of degrees in the measure of each of a pair of congruent complementary angles.
105.
105, correct. Finally, to Karen Bridges, the number of subsets of a set containing 1 element and the number of subsets of a set containing no elements.
0.
Incorrect, and the time beats anyway. 3 is what we were looking for there, but a very good round with all those tough math. Won't continue. That ends. Very good round with all those tough math questions. We continue now. No. Incorrect, and the time beats anyway. 3 is what we were looking for there, but a very good round with all those tough math questions. We continue now. No, we won't continue. That ends round 1 of Answers Please. Kingston with 75, Wahconah with 45, and a very good match. We'll be back with round 2 right after this. Don't go away. We're going to have a champion here this morning, but which school will it be, Wahconah or Kingston? Well, we'll find out in about 10 minutes. Before we go on with round 2 of Answers Please, let's find out who the alternates and advisors are here this morning, and we'll start with Kingston and call on Captain Ted Scherzinger to do the honors.
Our alternates are Amy Hellenschmidt and Mike Lewis. Our faculty advisor is Mr. Roger Kaleo, and I would like to thank the people at Pine Hill Trailways.
All right, little plug worked in there. Okay, let's do the same for Wahconah. We'll call on Captain Michael Donahue.
Our advisors are Mrs. Caverly and Mrs. Shipp, and our alternates are Steve Hom and Jennifer Tawes.
All right, big welcome to you folks. Thanks for coming down this morning. Now, remember, Answers Please is not intended to reflect on the scholastic ability of the schools participating. Answers Please is only a game. And that bell means we are in round 2 of Answers Please, where point totals are doubled and anything can happen. Here we go. First buzzer question. Using the code 1 equals A, 2 equals B, 3 equals C, etc., translate the following series of numbers into an English word. 2, 1, 14, 1, 14. Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Banana.
Banana, right. Last number would be a number 1, another A on there. On what date is Labor Day celebrated in all countries except Ted Scherzinger, Kingston?
The 1st of May.
1st of May, except Canada and the United States. We moved them. What term for the overall domestic reform program of President Franklin Roosevelt? Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
The New Deal.
New Deal, right. Used by FDR in his 1932 speech accepting the Democratic nomination for that office. Another team question, this time for Kingston. Here we go. I will describe for each of you a major event in U.S. history and ask you to tell me who was president of the U.S. when the event occurred. First, for Ted Scherzinger, the U.S. purchased the Louisiana Territory from France.
Thomas Jefferson.
Correct. For Rich Hendricks, the New York stock market crash contributing to the Great Depression.
Calvin Coolidge.
Incorrect. Becky Osborne, the U.S. dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima.
Truman.
Truman, correct. Finally, to Leah Cole, the first American astronaut walked on the moon.
Lyndon Johnson.
No, that's incorrect. Richard Nixon is what we were looking for there. In order, Thomas Jefferson, Herbert Hoover, Harry Truman, and finally Richard Nixon. Another buzzer question now, open for both schools. Both can jump in. If the logarithm base 10 of x is 25, what is the logarithm base 10 of 10x? wildly. We call for an answer from Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
26.
26. Multiplying by 10 adds 1 to the log. Here we go. What is the title of the short story by Edgar Allan Poe, which is subtitled as A Sequel to The Murders in the Rue Morgue? Leah Cole, Kingston.
The Cast of Amontillado.
Incorrect. We'll go to Wahconah for a response. What is the title of the short story by Edgar Allan Poe, which is subtitled as A Sequel to The Murders in the Rue Morgue? And Michael Donahue wants to try it.
The Telltale Heart.
No, The Mystery of Marie Roget, or Roget, I would imagine in French pronunciation. What is the common name of the chemical compound sodium hydrogen carbonate? And we go to Michael Donahue from Wahconah.
NaHCO3.
No, we're looking for the common name. We'll go to Kingston for a response. What is the common name? And we'll go to Ted Scherzinger.
Baking soda.
Baking soda. Bicarbonate of soda also. A little less common over here. Here we go, another buzzer question. Which of the following 3 common local songbirds has been named by onomatopoeia? And we'll go to Captain Michael Donahue.
Warbler.
No, incorrect. Good try. Kingston. You know what, though? I didn't give the rest of the... We gonna, okay? We'll do the whole thing. All right. The robin, the chickadee, or the goldfish?
The chickadee.
Chickadee is correct. Correct. All right. You buzzed in before I could continue on with it. All right. What major river would you cross if you traveled south from the Palmetto State to the Peach State? Okay. 1 second here. The buzzer judges. We have a team question now. No points for the last one. We're tossing it out. Okay. In that case, that takes away. Okay, here we go. What major river would you cross? Who buzzed in? Okay, over here. Michael Donahue.
The Savannah.
Savannah River, correct. Separates South Carolina from Georgia. We're throwing that out because we didn't read the entire okay. What last name is shared by all 3 of the following? The U.S. Secretary of the Navy from 1940 to 1944, the U.S. Secretary of War under both the Articles of Confederation and the Constitution, and the 6th, Karen Bridges from Wahconah.
Knox.
Knox, correct. Frank, Henry, and John. The year 1939 saw the introduction of regularly scheduled commercial television broadcasting. Who was the featured speaker in that historic first broadcast? And we'll go to Becky Osborne, Kingston.
FDR.
Correct. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Very good. There we go. Now a team question for Kingston, and here we go. It's a 4-parter. I will read each of you the opening line or lines of a play by William Shakespeare and ask you to give me the title of the play. First for Ted Scherzinger. Now, fair Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace.
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Correct. Rich Hendricks, Boatswain. That's all I've got.
Hamlet.
Incorrect. Becky Osborne. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York.
Richard III.
Okay, judges? I'm getting a thumbs up on that. Yes, okay. Leah Cole. If music be the food of love, play on.
Romeo and Juliet.
Incorrect. Twelfth Night is what we were looking for there. All right, we continue now with a buzzer question. In 1953, General George C. Marshall won the Nobel Prize for Peace. In what category did Sir Winston Churchill win the Nobel Prize in the same year? Nobel Prize. Captain Ted Scherzinger, Kingston.
Literature.
Literature, correct, for his 6-volume History of World War II. In 1969, a new category of Nobel Prize. Ted Scherzinger, Kingston.
Economics.
Economics, correct. If you owned and operated a store, you would undoubtedly want to keep all people who suffer from pyromania away from Ted Scherzinger, Kingston.
They would want to burn everything.
Okay, you jumped in a little too soon. We'll continue for Wahconah. From pyromania away from your place of business. Why would you be much happier to see people who suffer from omniomania? Omniomania. And we'll go to Jason Liss.
They want to buy a lot.
Yeah, they have an uncontrollable urge to buy things. Very good. What single word is both 1, the name of a Spanish dance, which is a variant of the fandango, and 2, the name of a ballet? And we go to Karen Bridges from Wahconah. Answer,
Petrushka?
please. We'll say it again?
Petrushka?
No, incorrect. Kingston, name of a ballet first produced in 1928 with a musical score by Ravel. Ted Scherzinger.
Bolero.
Bolero is correct. And we go to Michael Donahue.
Like our bonus question.
Okay. We're going to do team question first, and then we'll get back for that bonus question. All right. All righty, here is the team question for Kingston. I will give each of you the names of 2 countries and ask you for the name of the only country which shares common borders with both of those 2 nations. First of all, for Ted Scherzinger, Iraq and Saudi Arabia.
Kuwait.
Incorrect. Rich Hendricks, Thailand and Burma.
Laos.
Correct. Becky Osborne, Nepal and India.
Pakistan.
Incorrect. Leah Cole, Yugoslavia and Italy.
Turkey.
Incorrect. We're looking for China and Austria, the last 2 there. Okay, time for the bonus question over here. This is for Wahconah only. Who was at the head of the international delegation sent to Panama in May of this year to ensure that the elections in that country were conducted fairly? Who was at the head of an international delegation sent to Panama in May of this year to ensure that the elections in that country were conducted fairly? Captain Michael Donahue.
The Vice President of the United States.
Incorrect. We'll go to Kingston for a response. Captain Ted Scherzinger.
Jimmy Carter.
Correct. Ex-President of the United States. 20 points scored there. The Calgary Flames were the winners of the National Hockey League Stanley Cup in May of this year. The first victory in the history of the franchise. In what city were the Flames located when the franchise was... Rich Hendricks, Kingston.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia. They moved in 1980. What single 3-word expression is all of the following things? Number 1, the title of a fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. 2, the title of a ballet first performed. And we go to Becky Osborne, Kingston.
The Ugly Duckling.
Incorrect. I'll continue for Wahconah. The title of a ballet first performed in Vienna, 1898, and the title of a 1948 British film featuring that ballet. Captain Michael Donahue.
The Little Mermaid.
No, we're looking for The Red Shoes. The Red Shoes. No points scored there. We go on. I will give you the first 6 letters in a very common sequence and ask you to give me both the 7th and 8th letters in that sequence. Q, W, E, R, T, and Captain Ted Scherzinger.
U and I.
U and I. They are consecutive letters on a standard typewriter. Very good. As the Allied forces swept across Western Europe in late 1944, the armies of the Third Reich staged one last major... Rich Hendricks, Kingston.
Battle of the Bulge.
Battle of the Bulge. What was the popular name? Team question time for Kingston. Several of the wives of U.S. presidents are best known by names which are not their real first names. I will ask each of you to give me the name by which a U.S. First Lady is best known and ask you to give me her true first name. First of all, to Ted Scherzinger, Dolly Madison.
Alice.
No. Rich Hendricks, Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eunice.
Incorrect. Becky Osborne, Lady Bird Johnson.
Pass.
Finally, to Leah Cole, Nancy Reagan.
Mary.
Nope. We're looking for Dorothea, Anna, Claudia, and Anne. No points scored there. We go on with another team buzzer question. True Grit is the only film for which John Wayne won an Academy Award. What was the title of the last movie in which Mr. Wayne starred? Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
The Shootist.
The Shootist, correct. Give me the name of the coach who, during his tenure at UCLA, has led his teams to... Jason Liss, Wahconah.
John Wooden.
Nope, incorrect. Continuing for Kingston, has led his teams to 13 NCAA Division I championships. We'll call time on that. The answer is Al Skates. UCLA won its 13th NCAA volleyball title this year. All righty, we'll go on. Of the following 4 classes of naval warships, cruisers, destroyers, battleships, and aircraft carriers, which class makes up the smallest percentage of Michael Donahue, Wahconah?
Battleships.
Battleships, correct. Good stab there. By the start of the Vietnam War, the U.S. had only one commissioned battleship in service, the USS New Jersey. Another buzzer question. In most cases, if a word which ends in the letter E has a suffix beginning with a consonant attached to it, the final E is retained in the spelling of the new word. Which of the following words is an exception to that rule? Arrangement, hateful, or judgment? Ted Scherzinger from Kingston.
Judgment.
Judgment is correct. The E is retained. As in not retained. Okay, we continue now. Who was the last Republican to serve as Speaker of the House of the U.S. Let me try that again. Who was the last Republican to serve as Speaker of the House of Representatives of the U.S.? No responses there. Call time. The answer, Joseph W. Martin, 1953 to 1955. We'll go on. What is the current title of the U.S. government agency which was created July 26, 1908 and originally known as the Office of the Chief Examiner? Tough questions. Becky Osborne, Kingston.
The Surgeon General.
No. Good try. We'll go to Wahconah for a response. Originally known as the Office of the Chief Examiner. What is the current title? Give it a try. Jason Liss.
Department of Justice.
No, we're looking for the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Once again, we are out of round 2 of Answers Please, and you see the score 285 to 85 on our championship round. Of course, no scores on Answers Please are official until we make them official. We'll do that right after this. Me on the podium to make the... Well, Kingston traveled up the Hudson River to give a fantastic showing today, and joining me on the podium to make the score official is Mary Ballou from our newsroom. How about it?
Peter, that's an official. Kingston 285, Wahconah 85. And Kingston is our new 1989 champion.
Well, congratulations to Kingston. I'd like to ask the captain, Ted Scherzinger, did you guys practice together? Do you guys play at home with buzzers or something?
No, not a lot.
No? Okay. Well, you are a very sharp team here today. You explained to me earlier about the bus situation. Why did you give a plug to there? You guys are traveling in style these days, aren't you?
Yes, we got a Trailways bus for 3 of our games.
Air conditioning the whole bit then,
Yes.
Huh? All righty. Well, congratulations to you, 1989 champs. And that's it for Answers Please for this season. Thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.